Hey, what's going on with you guys? My name is Yaahn Hunter Jr. coming at you from Hunter Studios, and I'm a music producer out of Fairfield, California. And today we're going to be checking out my live drum samples, Volume 1. And you can purchase these samples on my website, yhuntermusic.com. Today we're going to be using these samples in Logic Pro X, and we're going to be using the drum replacement feature, the stock feature that's in Logic. And what's dope about these samples is I give you a lot of versatility. They're just one-shot WAV files for you to add to your drum recording or fully replace them. So let's get right into this thing.
That's Hunter.
Okay guys, so what I have right here is some acoustic drums that was recorded, and they didn't really come out too well. So I'm gonna play you the drum recording as is, and then I'm going to add my samples in. So we're gonna do a quick before and after. So here we go. Right, so let's check out this recording with my samples added in. Brace yourselves. World of a difference. So let's dig into this thing. So there is a prerequisite for this video. You can check out how to mix live drums part 2, and I'll link a card up above for you to check that out. In that video, I fully explain how to use the Logic stock drum replacement feature. So for this video, I'm kind of going to be moving a little bit fast. If you want me to slow down, or if you need a video that goes more in depth, you can check that out. And I'll also post a link in the description below for you guys to check that out. So the first thing you want to do is you want to create a sampler instrument. So let's do that right now. Cool, and I have it set to sampler, multi-sample. And I'm just going to run through this real briefly. It's pretty simple to do. So first things first is load up the sampler. Cool, I'm gonna put this right here on the left because we're gonna need to load up the samples that you guys purchased. So I'm going to turn on mapping and zone. Now I'm going to pull up the samples right here, and we're going to dig in. So how you do this is pretty simple for the most part. It's just a little repetitive. So we'll start with the kick drum, and all I'm going to do is drag and drop these samples in. So I use the 22-inch Armory kick. So I'm gonna put this right here on C1. And then you make sure that you have the one shot turn on right here. Perfect. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna load up 2 snares just to save time for this video. Same thing, tomahawk, just drag that in. Whatever note you want. So I'm gonna put that right there. C sharp, and then turn on one shot. Perfect. And then let's load up one more snare just for an example, just so you guys can catch it. So we'll do the tomahawk snare. The tomahawk rockstar snare. Put that right here on D1. And then hit a one shot. Boom, there you have it. So go ahead and hit this arrow right here where it says factory default. Click that arrow, and then you can save this as a new sampler instrument. So you can choose where you want this to go. The stock flow is the sampler instruments, and I'll take you through that. So you go to your profile under your users, Yaahn Hunter Jr. for me. You go to music, audio, apps, and then this is where the sampler instruments is. So you can save it here, or you can save it really wherever you like, but I prefer to save it somewhere that's consistent with the rest of your instruments. So you hit save. Once you do that, I would highly recommend restarting Logic, close it, and open it back up so that instrument can load up. Once it does, it'll pop up, and you'll be able to do what we're getting ready to do right now. So once again, I would highly recommend watching the prerequisite video on how to use drum replacement in Logic, the stock feature. So the shortcut for that is Control and D, and it's going to analyze the transients. So we're going to choose a kick as the instrument and make sure that everything looks consistent, because it's basically converting this audio to a MIDI track. So it looks like everything is consistent with the wave and the MIDI regions. So I'm going to hit OK. And then it gives you a suggested kick. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the sampler instrument, click that, and we're going to load up the one we created. So for me, I saved mine as Live Drum Samples Volume 1. And there's that. Then I'm going to double click. And there we have it. But I'm going to use the kick that we use for the demonstration, which is D1, there it is, boom, D1. And then what I like to do is turn up the velocity, so highlight all of these, turn that velocity up, cool, and then let's solo that with the real kick. Cool, so that's how you do it with the kick. And let's do the snare for the demonstration purposes, just to make sure we all have it. So if you didn't catch it with the kick, this is how you would do it with the snare. So same thing, Control and D together is the shortcut. It's going to analyze the transients. And then you're going to change this to snare. Same thing, make sure all the snare hits are consistent. So for this section of the song, looks like everything is pretty consistent. So you're going to hit OK. And same thing, we're going to change the sampler instrument to our instrument or your instrument that you created. And so go to Live Drum Samples once again, and we're going to double click. It looks like we already have the piano roll already loaded up. So let's check this out. So I'm going to highlight all of these, and then I'm going to move it up to the snare hits. Cool there. So same thing, I'm gonna go ahead and turn up the velocity. And there we have it. So let's start this up a little bit later. And you're pretty much gonna follow the same process for each drum. So you do the same thing with the toms and everything like that. So now that you have everything, let's do one more before and after. Okay, so here's the before. And here is the after. Perfect. So I hope that this video was helpful. I have another video, live drum samples in Pro Tools, and check out that video because that's where I dive in deep with the different samples. I literally demo each and every sample in the pack in that video. So I'll post a card up here, and I'll also post a link in the description so you guys have access to that video so you can see what the samples sound like, raw, mixed, wet, and all of that. I demo the whole thing. So make sure to check out my website, yhuntermusic.com, to purchase these live drum samples Volume 1. Also, stay posted for updates because we got a lot more to do with these samples. This is just Volume 1, and I named it Volume 1 because it's only up from here. So just stay tuned for that good stuff. And if this video was helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and turn on those bell notifications so you get notified when I post my future videos. Thank you guys for this time. Enjoy the samples. And like I always say, we ain't nowhere near done. Peace.